Hello everyone, we're going to take a look at your Google Classroom. This is the Google Classroom for the Grade 9 Academic Math. This first page that we're on is our stream. So you'll notice our stream has all the announcements that I make every morning or sometimes in the afternoon or throughout the day to let you know what work you're doing for the week or for the day. So make sure you read the stream every day. I would read it in the morning, I would read it at night as well, just to make sure you see all the updates that are available to you. A lot of people put quiz information here, test information here, assessment information here, practice quizzes I should say, and also other information about some clarifications that I might make. So make sure you pay attention to the stream here. You can ask me questions on here if there's something that you're not clear of on. If you don't want to email me and you want the whole class to benefit from the question, you can do that here as well by adding a comment. If you go to Classwork, the Classwork tab is where I post all our resources. So for Unit 4, for example, we're doing lesson tracking just like we did in Unit 3. So you'd click on that, you'd click on this little this form here, and you'd fill in information for every lesson that you complete going forward for the unit. So make sure that you do that for every lesson that you complete because it is a form of attendance. When we first started, we were doing attendance using these little quizzes here, but I decided to stop that method. I thought a better method would be just to kind of reflect on your work through these assessment tracking techniques so you don't need to do this anymore. One example of paying attention to instructions is if you didn't log in on April 14th and then on April 17th you did and you said, oh, I didn't log in on April 14th, let me go to attendance, do the attendance for that day. I told you guys not to do that several times on the stream. And so I'm getting the impression that many of you are not reading the stream or reading the emails that I send out. So you need to make sure you're taking that responsibility and accountability in reading everything that I send out. Otherwise, you're not going to experience meaningful learning. Under the Welcome and Introductions and Updates section, that's usually where I'll post some general information about the course, like the daily prayer, where you can access it on the Loyola Twitter feed, some tips about extra help and time management in this document over here, tutorials for how to do different tasks in Google. So if you click on the link or on this file here, pardon me, you'll see a list of different tasks that you might be asked to do by me or by other teachers. There's written instructions and video instructions on how to do every single one of these tasks. So you have this available to you. You just need to access it, right? And it saves you a lot of time if you can do that research. You need to become independent, strong learners. And the way to do that is by making use of the resources that your teachers are working hard to put together for you. You can see that we're posting some solution manuals for you for your textbook homework just to verify your work if you need it. You also have answers at the back of your textbook, TVO resources, which have additional tutorials for some of the lessons that we're doing in math. A reminder that if you are an English language learner and you need extra support, to please email me and to get into contact with your ESL monitor so that we can work together to support you as best we can. But you need to kind of help us out by reaching out as well and asking those questions and seeking that support so we can assist you. If you don't have your textbook with you, don't worry, I've updated it here. I put a link where we have a free access to our textbook and also other textbooks for other courses you may have. So maybe if you have science, you might see the science textbook on this website as well. Thank you to Nelson for doing that for us. Then we also have some information about how our course will be run over here, and then what you can do with videos. So many of our lessons, so let's go to a unit, for example, Unit 4. Unit 4, the way it's organized is we have a unit outline over here. You can click on that to see how the unit's organized and how your work will be organized. So you can see that here. During the following weeks, we'll be doing these tasks. So this week we did 8.3 and 8.2. Next week we're doing these lessons here along with the homework and the extra practice, and also the learning goals and the strategies for success that you can use to be successful in this unit. So you click on that to see a general overview of the unit, and then over here you'd see the individual lessons. So when you click on the lessons, typically each lesson will have a checklist for what you should be doing. There will be the lesson itself and then a solution that you can use in order to complete the lesson. And then you'll see the homework, like I said, in the unit outline or at the bottom of the lesson usually as well, and in the checklist. And so after you're done every lesson, you take pictures of the lesson that you completed in addition to the homework, and you complete a lesson tracker and post your pictures in your digital binder that you created. I will be creating a video so you can see how to do digital binder if you haven't already done it. It should be pretty straightforward if you follow the instructions carefully. Here we have lesson 8.2. 8.2 is a bit different because yes, we do have a checklist and we do have notes and we do have solutions, but the solutions are actually in the form of a video. So this is a teacher-made video that you can use to complete this lesson. you fill in the blanks, you do the examples with the video, and then you do the homework, and same thing, you take pictures, add it to your digital binder, and complete the lesson tracker from up over here. So it looks like a lot, but once you do it a few times, it becomes straightforward, and it's just a habit, but you actually have to do it a few times, otherwise you'll never get it. So that's how we proceed for all the units. We did a similar activity for Unit 3, linear equations. We had course outlines, we had the topics posted, and checklists and videos to help you understand the material. If you continue going down, there's some assignments here. So you'll see the digital binder, which will be a separate video for. The e-learning survey, sometimes they'll ask you to check in just to see how you're doing with the distance learning. That should be more appropriately called that. And then additional worksheets that I'll post so you can get additional practice in case you get ahead of the game sometimes. Some of you are working quickly on the math and you need more of a challenge, so you have more worksheets here to help you to reinforce your skills. I do want to show you quickly how to access assessments. So recently we had an assessment in Unit 3. There's 2 versions here. All of you ideally should have done the first version, but if you didn't and you needed some extra time for some reason or another, we accommodated you and we provided you with a different version, version B. But the way you would have completed this is there's 2 parts to it. You would have first done your multiple choice part, which is in Google Forms. So you would have clicked on that, and then a separate window would have opened up, and you would have read your instructions, click, 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 choose your answers, do your work on a separate piece of paper, and submit. When you submit that, I get a count saying that you turned it in. The other part is the Google Docs part, which is the written part. So for the written part, you click on the Google Docs, and you get a copy for yourself. And what you do is you read the instructions carefully. When does it open? When does it close? Suggested time limits. So usually, for an assessment like this, it should take about an hour. So it's a suggested time limit, so that way you know how to pace yourself and time yourself, especially for future courses. And then you have how you're going to be evaluated in the different categories, and communication, so on and so forth, in proper form. But if you keep scrolling down, you'll see that here's the work that you have to complete. And so I do want to see all your work. And what I want you to do to show me your work is to insert an image. So to insert an image, you would take a picture of the work that you're working on. You'd make sure it's nice and labeled. You write your name on it. You'd write question number 1. This is your question A. Final answer, and then your solution. And you put a picture in there. And the way you do it is, if you're in Google Docs on a computer, you can simply click Insert, Image. And if it's on your computer, insert image. If it's on your computer, you can go upload from computer. You need to remember where it is on your computer. So for example, maybe I save an image on my desktop. I click on my desktop. Then I go down and I find my image, Capture One. I post that in there, and there's the image I saved right there. You might have maybe saved your image, maybe you're on your phone and you're using Google Docs, so you can get an image straight from your camera. Or maybe it's in your Google Drive, so you can click on your Google Drive and find the image there and post it here. But you need to make sure you clearly label everything in order to have the image marked and assessed by me. If I can't read it and I don't understand it, I can't really assess you to your full potential. So make sure you're very clear and you read all the instructions. Everything is here for you. And if you have a question about the instruction, you can email your teacher to get clarification. If you don't, it's going to be a bit difficult for you to show me what you're really made of. Okay? So you want to go through the entire assessment, post the pictures where you need to, and then once you're done, you can submit the document, save everything, and submit the document. So that's the general idea there. With doing assessments online, make sure that you do them on time. Make sure that you're reading the stream so that you know how to access, when to access them, and when to start, and also how to prepare to the best of your ability. And it would be the same idea if you were doing version B. So some of you were assigned version B to do. You click do this one here, and then click do this one here as well, and then submit it, and it's done. And most of you are on the right track with that, but there's a few of you who still need to get that practice in order to improve. So this video was just a brief general introduction on how to use our Google Classroom. You have the classwork tab, you have the stream over here. You can access other features by clicking on these little circles here. You can access your Gmail over here. You can access Google Docs, Google Sheets over here. You can access a variety of different applications just by clicking over here and experimenting with it. But again, you'll only get better if you actually do try to experiment with it. You can access to Google Drive here, everything that you need, all basically a few clicks away. If you have any questions, please make sure you ask early and often. Make sure you email. Make sure you can message me through the Google Classroom itself. So if you're doing an assignment, you can message me through the assignment that I've assigned, and I should see it on my email end. I do ask that when I do email you, that you do respond to me so I know you've received it, and also acknowledge that you've received it and that you understand the contents of it, so I know that everything's good on your end. So please make sure you do that as a courtesy going forward.